You are bored right now. Maybe not at this exact second, but you were bored recently. This morning, or yesterday, or sometime in the last few days, your mind went blank and you reached for your phone. You opened an app you didn't mean to open. You scrolled without reading. And somewhere in the back of your brain, something felt vaguely wrong. Like you were failing at something. Like you should be doing more. But here is what no one tells you. Boredom is not a flaw. It is not laziness wearing a disguise. Boredom is one of the oldest, most sophisticated survival signals your body has ever developed. And for most of human history, it saved your life on a regular basis. The real answer is far stranger than you think. Your brain did not evolve to be entertained. It evolved to notice when something was missing. Think about that for a second. You carry around a 3-pound organ that spent 2 million years scanning the environment for threats, opportunities, and patterns. It was never designed to rest. It was designed to be hungry. And when the environment stopped giving it enough to chew on, it invented a feeling to get you moving again. That feeling is boredom. Neuroscientist Sandi Mann at the University of Central Lancashire has spent over a decade studying boredom. What she found challenges everything you think you know about idle minds. Boredom, she discovered, is not the absence of thought. It is the presence of a very specific kind of thought. A restless, searching, deeply creative state that the brain enters when external stimulation drops below a certain threshold. Your brain does not power down when you are bored. It powers up in a different direction. This is the part that changes everything. When your ancestors sat around a dying fire with nothing immediate to do, their brains did not go quiet. They started connecting dots. They replayed yesterday's hunt and found the mistake. They imagined a better route to the river. They invented stories to explain why the sky turned red at night. Boredom was the engine of human imagination, because imagination only has room to run when survival is not screaming in your ear. Your brain still works exactly the same way. There is a network inside your skull called the default mode network. Neuroscientists used to think it was a kind of neural screensaver, something that flickered on when you were not doing anything important. Then researchers like Marcus Rachel at Washington University started measuring what it actually does, and the results were startling. The default mode network is not idle. It is intensely active. It is the part of your brain responsible for self-reflection, empathy, long-term planning, and creative problem-solving. And it only fully activates when you stop filling every moment with input. Boredom is the doorway. The default mode network is what is waiting on the other side. This is why the most important ideas in human history did not arrive during meetings. They arrived in the bath, on long walks, in the middle of the night. Archimedes was sitting in water going nowhere. Newton was sitting under a tree. Darwin spent years doing what looked to outsiders like wandering, long solitary walks, staring at nothing, thinking about something no one else could see yet. Boredom was not their enemy, it was their method. But your brain did not invent boredom just so you could think great thoughts. The original function was far more immediate. Anthropologist Callum Roberts at the University of York argues that boredom evolved as a motivational system, a biological push to stop tolerating bad situations and start seeking better ones. If your ancestors were comfortable doing nothing, they would have stayed where they were. They would have eaten the same food, lived in the same place, missed the seasonal migration of the herds, ignored the signs of approaching drought. The ones who got bored first were the ones who moved, and the ones who moved were the ones who survived. Boredom made your ancestors restless. Restlessness made them explorers. Exploration made them human. This is why the feeling is so uncomfortable. It is supposed to be. Discomfort is the signal. Your nervous system is telling you that your current environment is not offering enough return on your cognitive investment. It is telling you to look somewhere else, to try something new, to move. And now, for the first time in 2 million years, you live in a world that will let you silence that signal instantly. Every app on your phone was designed by teams of engineers to deliver a precise, calibrated dose of stimulation. Not too much, not too little, just enough to quiet the boredom signal without ever letting it complete its job. They are not filling your time. They are hijacking the system. They are giving your brain the feeling of seeking without the reward of finding. Researcher Gloria Mark at the University of California Irvine spent years measuring what happens to your attention when you switch between tasks and screens. What she found is that after every interruption, it takes an average of 23 minutes to return to the original state of deep focus. Every time you pick up your phone to escape boredom, you are not solving the problem. You are resetting the clock. You are leaving your default mode network standing at the door with nowhere to go. The boredom never completes its cycle. The idea never arrives. The connection never gets made. Think about the last time you had a genuinely original thought. Not a reaction to something you read. Not a reshuffling of someone else's idea. A real, unexpected connection that came out of nowhere and surprised you. Where were you? Probably not looking at a screen. Probably in the shower, or driving, or lying in the dark. Probably bored. That is not a coincidence. That is your default mode network finally getting a turn. Here is what your brain is actually trying to do when it makes you feel that restless, itchy, uncomfortable feeling. It is trying to audit your life. It is trying to look at where you are and ask, quietly and insistently, whether this is really where you want to be. It is trying to find the gap between where you are and where your instincts say you could go. It is an ancient navigation system that still works perfectly, and you have been muting it. The discomfort is not the enemy. The discomfort is the message. Most people spend their entire lives running from boredom. They fill every gap, every commute, every waiting room, every meal. They have turned silence into a problem to be solved rather than a resource to be used. And in doing so, they have cut themselves off from the part of their mind that thinks in years instead of seconds. The part that asks real questions, the part that invented language, agriculture, music, mathematics, and every other thing that separates human life from mere survival. Your ancestors did not have the option to escape boredom. They sat with it. They let it do its work. And what it built over thousands of generations was you. Now you have the option to escape it constantly. The question is whether you should. The next time you feel bored, really bored, not just mildly understimulated, try something your ancestors never had to try. Try staying there, put the phone down, let the feeling build. Let your brain run out of immediate distractions and start reaching for something further away. You will probably feel worse before you feel better. The discomfort will spike. Your hand will move toward the phone on its own. Let it. And then notice what happens next. Notice the thought that arrives when the noise stops. Notice what your brain reaches for when you stop feeding it and let it feed itself. Because that thought, the one that only comes in the quiet, that is the one your brain has been trying to tell you about all along. Tonight, when you reach for your phone to fill the silence, you will know something you did not know before. The boredom you are running from is not the problem. It is the solution. It always has been. And it has been waiting patiently, the way it waited for every restless ancestor who came before you, to do what it was always built to do.